Welcome to 123 Minimize, the podcast about easy minimalism for busy moms with Jody and Linnea. In today's episode, we will be talking about spring cleaning.
So when you think of spring cleaning, how do you feel? Like, are you excited or are you dreading it?
I usually feel very excited.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too.
And I don't know if that's just living in the north.
Yeah,
where,
I think it might be.
You know, it's you've been inside all winter and it's cold, cold, cold. I'm not talking about now in my life as an RVer, because that's totally different. But before RVing, it was always like, we can have the windows open now. Yeah. The air is fresh. It's warm enough to be outside in a sweatshirt. Yeah. You know, it's that exciting feeling of wanting to open up, you know, get the dust out of the house and kind of, you know, a fresh start. Yeah. It's kind of what it always felt like to me.
And it's sunnier longer.
Yeah.
So it's not just dark and then a little bit of sun. It's like sunny in the morning. So you really start to see the fingerprints on the glass. And you know what I mean? The dirt on the outside of the windows or random bird poop that was carefully placed. You start to see it before. It wasn't. It was dark and I just didn't notice it. And then even into the evening, it's bright out. Yeah. So there's more like time where you're seeing it. And also, just wanting that fresh start. Yeah. My grandma would talk about how, so she was the youngest up. I think she was number 14.
Whoa.
And in the spring, they had like their winter kitchen attached to their house, I think, and a summer kitchen because it was way too hot. But they would take everything out, dump all the hay beds.
Wow.
And then whitewash the walls.
Wow.
Restuff the beds.
Wow.
Could you imagine sleeping on hay?
Oh,
I'm over here with like mad at my memory foam pillow sometimes, you know, like how soft. Now that's like solid spring cleaning.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, got the whole thing. Throw the bedding, like the mattresses out the window, you know, because they're just hay. That's hard work. The whole family would be involved. Yeah. But I suppose you had to because of like rodents or even without good solid insulation. Mm-hmm. I've watched old shows where they talk about how if your bed was against the wall, it would get moldy because it would freeze. Ooh. So it probably needed it. Yeah. A good washing, you know? Yeah. So at least we don't have to do that. But I'm with you. I get excited, but I do think it's like partially the warmer weather. It feels like a change in season. Just like when you get to the season of winter and it feels cozy. Yeah. And like, let's play a game and, you know, fireplace or bake something. It is nice to have seasonal changes to like mark different time periods. I also feel excited about spring cleaning. Do I run out of energy before I get it all done? 100%.
Yep, every time.
And then it's hot and I'm like, I'm done. Now I'm outside, I'm going swimming. Yeah. I am not spring cleaning in heat. I'm doing other things. And summer's so short, so you're like, nope, I'm outside for the rest of the summer. I don't care if there's sand getting tracked in, like I'm outside, I don't know what to tell you. But in the spring, it's like perfect because you can physically work really hard and not get that hot because it's not actually that hot outside.
In the north.
Yeah.
I mean,
other people are already well into baking 85 degrees outside. Right. You know, 90% humidity. Right. They're full in it. So my apologies. we froze ourselves all winter, so we deserve, you know.
Well, maybe spring cleaning for someone in Arizona is in February.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe they still have that.
And and then in February they're having like flowers outside too, and we're still frozen tundra. So, but I've heard that where all the states, you know, when they're transitioning from whatever their winter to summer, it feels good to get it ready for that next stage. Yeah. So for myself, when my house is cluttered or dusty even, and I start to see that when the sun starts shining in, I see the dust all over. Yeah. And I do dust. I try to dust at least once a week, but for some reason with just all the people, it needs it, you know. So I know that I struggle more with my emotions when things are kind of chaos and messy. And it has to do with like visual noise. So much going on. So then we're running late for something and I can't find somebody's like water bottle or some kind of thing they need. And then it just feels like there's stuff everywhere and it's harder. Then when it's tidy, then I can like see what I need to get and we're out the door.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't sit still. Mm-hmm. If I see stuff, it's like every item that's out of place in my mind is a to-do list. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for me to be able to just sit and like, let's have some rest for a minute. I can't do that when it's chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had a really busy week at work this week. Just so much going on that it's hard to keep up with it, in that right now I have papers and Post-it notes all over my desk.
Yeah.
Do I need the stuff on the notes? 100%. Do I also have things I saved in my calendar? Different things. It was just coming at me so fast that it wasn't, could you be organized and get it all in notes in a calendar? Yes, I could. Literally did not have the time to even do that. I try to end my work week with no Post-it notes all over my desk. Yeah. And they're mostly like a last minute meeting, and I'm frantically looking for paper and scribbling things down as we go because there's just no time. So typically on Friday afternoons, when you're not having a lot of meetings, often Friday afternoons, I clean off my downloads of my laptop, I clean off my desktop and my physical desktop. Yeah. This week it was not happening. I'm not even sure it's going to happen next week. But I had that feeling on Friday of, I really need a minute to get sorted because I almost can't think because there's so much visual clutter. Yeah. I need to get it organized. I feel like I'm going to miss something. Yeah. But now it's Saturday and I really could work the whole weekend, but I'm just not going to because I need to have a break in order to get through the next week. And I absolutely enjoy my job and my coworkers, but also everybody's replaceable. Yeah. And as somebody in HR, I know, if I dropped dead, they would find somebody else. Yeah. They would probably be sad. I'm very sad when employees leave or if something happens to an employee, which we have had happen. Yeah. Very sad. Still think about them. But you have to rehire. You have to keep going because you have to continue paying everyone else. So I know that even about myself, everybody's replaceable. Right? Yeah. And so I need the break. Yep. I don't get paid extra to work on the weekend. So I need to take the break, even though, I'm going to go on Monday and have all that clutter. But that's just how other people are able to thrive in that environment and I'm not. Yeah. So both in my home and at work, if I take some time and get it sorted out, I get more done. Yeah. I just not that it's all about getting more done, right? You have times in your life where things are a little slower and times when they're a little bit busier, that ebb and flow. So I just know for myself, I'm able to make decisions easier. I'm happier. I have clearer thinking. I'm more productive when things are tidy. So then it's not like I'm working more. I'm working more efficiently and then having proper breaks. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So spring cleaning to me is a great time to get all that sorted. Yeah. It is hard. I've never used PTO to spring clean. I don't think I'm ever good. I shouldn't even say that, but I don't want to. Yeah. I want to take my paid time off to go on trips with my family. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it is something that I need to fit in. I try not to do 2 days on the weekend of home projects, 1 day of rest, 1 day of projects. So that really leaves evenings and a weekend day to do spring cleaning. But, I had energy last week and in the evening with the boys, I tackled their closet with them and, got out the 2 small pants and the pants with the holes and put in the shorts that were in storage and all that good stuff. And I was like, well, I actually have energy and they're participating and this is great. It doesn't happen all the time. But I just, pepper in that spring cleaning through the whole springtime. Yeah. Versus if you can tackle it in a week and you have that. Yeah. That is amazing. Yeah. I absolutely did that before. Yeah. I would be like, this is it. This is happening. There are great lists online about spring cleaning lists. Yep. Those can be overwhelming to me because I am never going to be able to wash all the windows, clean out the garage and the shed and all the normal stuff in a set amount of time, a short amount of time. It's just not possible. Yeah. It's too much work for one person. So what are your tips for tackling, how do you tackle spring cleaning in your RV?
Well, honestly, we follow the weather. So I've never really had that motivation of spring cleaning. We just do our regular cleaning. And because we're living in an RV, we are as minimal as we can be all the time. Yeah. Not that there isn't times where things pile up and we have to, go through it, but it's never in the spring. Because this year we had spring in 3 different places. Yeah. So amazing. We've had spring for many months now. So it's been very different. I don't have those I don't want to use the word trigger, but just like, oh, it's spring now. Let's open,
the association.
Yeah. The association of the newness of, the new life outside with the leaves. Like I mean, yeah. So it's different in the RV. So when I think of spring cleaning, I really just think back to when we were still living in a house. And what I think of there is things like going through all of the winter clothes. Again, we live in the north, so we had a lot of like snow pants and boots. And maybe if you're somewhere warm, you probably still have a change in clothes that you wear, even if it's not snow pants. But going through all that gear, ice skates, skis, going through all of that, washing everything. Because usually my kids would wear it all the way into the spring when the snow was melting, and it would just be like caked in mud. Oh my goodness. So washing it all and then determining if there's anything that totally got worn, sometimes the snow pants would be like shredded. The knees, like get rid of those, give away anything that is like getting too small. They're not going to fit in the next winter. And then just storing the rest away. And it always feels so good to get that stuff out of the way because it takes up so much space. Which is great because then we can get out the summer hats and the flip-flops and the pool bag with the beach towels, kind of switch over to the other season. Get out the yard toys, the bubbles and the yard games. But it's a really good time to, if you're getting that stuff out, just take a minute and declutter. Really. I mean, I remember we used to have like half a broken set of croquet. And I was like, why are we keeping this? We're not going to play croquet with this. It's not even a full thing. Half the things are broken. So, and then garage. I mean, the garage and the shed. And those are so overwhelming. They can be really overwhelming. So again, of course, you may not do it all at once. But there are some things you could do. First of all, just want to point out, if you are feeling overwhelmed with it, use that as motivation to downsize it, to declutter it, because the more stuff you have, the more work it's going to take. What if could you imagine yourself having a garage that didn't take you a huge chunk of time to clean out? Maybe you get to the point where it's decluttered to the point where everything you have is stuff that you use, and then you don't have to have this big ordeal to clean out your garage. So just a little mindset thought there. But
one thing for me with the garage is that it's dusty.
Like
really dirty.
Not
just a little bit dirty, but like you kind of get physically dirty.
Oh, you do.
And so that is like, it's fine. But when I do garage in the spring, I'm like filthy. I need to come in. I got leaves in my hair. I don't know why. Probably because the fall, it's windy and all the dried leaves come in. And but our garage at our previous house, there were years that we couldn't put a car in there. It was just full of stuff before all of this minimalism stuff.
Same.
And it was always, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. How do I get rid of it if we don't need it? It can be bigger things. Now we have a 3-car garage and we park 3 cars in it. And it's like, yay.
Wow. That's awesome.
It is, yeah. And it doesn't gather more stuff then because it's full of cars.
Right.
So it's, you can't, you want a kayak or something. Where are you going to put that?
Right.
Maybe we should rent one once and see if we're really going to continue. And turns out, the $10 to rent it at the park system is probably better than us, tromping around with it. But so garage stuff can be hard. So in our previous house, we bought a paint sprayer because we painted like the beams in the basement, and hand painting all those little crevices in the boards was too much for my neck. So we got a sprayer. When we moved to this house, we didn't need it. And it sat in the garage for maybe a year. And I told my husband, I'm like, maybe we should get rid of it because, it's no longer, it can get broken. Every time you use it, it's kind of an ordeal to clean it out, maintain it. Since it is something you plug in, it, can break over time and be worth nothing. So we listed it online, and a guy that has a painting company bought it. He got a good deal. We turned some clutter into, some substantial cash. Not huge, but you know what I mean. It wasn't like the $10 where you're like, I don't know if this is worth my time.
Right.
And actually a couple days ago, we sold a freezer.
Wow.
Yeah, it was given to us years ago. We did use it, and honestly, with food prices right now, we're just not storing food like we used to. So we got rid of it, felt good about it, and cleared up some space in our furnace room.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. And somebody got a good deal.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about a garage. Maybe it was just us, but I felt like we had a lot of those types of items. Like, what if we need this someday?
Yeah.
Tools and things. Like, we had like a post hole digger.
Yeah.
That we used to put in some posts along a walkway on our driveway.
Yeah.
But, and maybe that's fine. Maybe that's something you would use again. But really just like looking at those things.
It depends on your land, right? Like
right.
in an RV, you're hopefully not,
needing a post hole digger.
Right.
No.
My grandpa used to joke that he had his PhD when he was using his post hole digger. I think he only finished 8th grade, so he was funny.
Right. Well, and I mean, we've really learned some things living in an RV because you literally have nowhere to stash stuff.
Yeah.
Like even your yard. Like, sometimes like in our house, we'd have some old, like an old wooden pallet or something that we thought we might like rip apart and use for some project.
Yeah.
And it would just sit like on the backside of our shed or like on the backside of the garage, You don't have that because you're moving constantly. So everything you have has to fit inside your trailer or inside your truck.
Yeah.
Every last item.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we really have like gotten to the point where, everything we've got, we use and otherwise we don't have it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe taking away that luxury of like, what if someday, I mean, if the clutter is stressing you out is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you don't like having all that time to, needing to have all that time to clean it out, really forcing yourself to make those decisions, it will pay off for you in the end because you'll come to spring cleaning and be like, oh, the garage, we can just sweep it out and dust a little and maybe look at a couple items that we can get rid of and we're done.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. No, I used to get so overwhelmed before minimalism stuff and I would just stand in the garage and have no idea.
Yeah.
Because, when you buy houses that had previous owners, they often leave stuff too. So it's even not your stuff.
Yeah.
And so actually physically getting rid of the stuff can be difficult. Like I said, it can be bigger.
Right.
So in the town we used to live in once a year, or I think it was once every 2 or 3 years, you could put anything to your curb within reason, like no oil or, right. And they would just come take it.
Yep.
And that was really handy. If you can, I think ours was in the fall though. So sometimes with spring cleaning, just because to save money, I would make a pile and just know like this is all going. And yeah, it's hard to be patient with this stuff. Other towns have like a drop off or maybe they charge you a small amount, or we've done like the bag stir that you can get from the hardware store and then they pick it up. Now that does cost money, but it might be cheaper than your other options of calling your waste management company to pick it up. It just depends on what item you're looking to get rid of.
Yeah.
Dropped off like a couch that was really, when our kids were little, we kept the couches until they were like really bad. But at some point, you need to, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So we dropped that off at a place that was cheaper than having waste management come and pick it up. So sometimes actually getting rid of the garage stuff can be more than just giving it away, tossing it in the trash can.
Yeah.
It can be like more planning, which is why it feels so overwhelming.
It's true.
Too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a funny little story. We had that pickup in our neighborhood, but it was in the spring.
Oh, good.
And
Much
so
better.
we had cleaned out our shed and we had our kids, we have 4 kids and they're all like 1 year apart from each other. So really close in age. And so, and they were all like runners. They would run away from us, you know? So we had, when we were having our first, we knew we were going to have them close together, or that was what we wanted.
Yep.
So we bought a double stroller. We never had a single stroller.
Yeah.
We got a double stroller, and I actually got a triple stroller because I needed to be able to like buckle in these kids so they wouldn't run away.
Wow. Yeah.
Like if we were somewhere and I needed to go and nurse the baby, I'm like, you guys are staying buckled. Like I can't be chasing you guys around.
Yeah.
So we had this old stroller and we knew that we were done with it. Like the kids were all too big for it. They couldn't even fit in it. And so we had that pickup day, but it was kind of one of those things where it was like either, it was like a 48-hour window where they would come and get it. So we'd put all the stuff on the curb and we had this big window that looked out from our living room out to the curb. And the kids saw one of my kids just, oh my, what are you doing? We're getting rid of that. They were bawling and crying like they did not want to, and we were trying to like talk to them. We don't use it anymore and it's taking up space in our shed and like all this kind of stuff. And she kind of got to the point where she's like, okay. But then the truck came.
Oh no.
And we went out there and got it.
Oh no.
We got it like at the last second. We like pulled it out of the back of the like thing.
Oh no.
I'm like, I can't believe this. Right. But then, you know what, the kids played with it a lot for the next year or two, and then we ended up getting rid of it. But I couldn't believe that. I was like, we just went and rescued from the dumpster.
That's funny. We've definitely pulled stuff away from the curb when kids saw it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I know.
They're not ready. You're ready. They're not ready. Yeah. And you're right. They do play with it. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's their nostalgia. Like,
I know.
It's different. So I completely understand. One thing in our neighborhood that people would come by before they would know it's happening. And by the time like the trash company came, almost everything would be gone. People that are looking for metal.
Oh, right.
Or people that are looking for items. Maybe they needed a stroller.
Right.
But that was always amazing, too.
I know.
That I'm like, wow, it's just kind of like a free garage sale for the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
Take what you want.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't used something in the past year, probably consider getting rid of it. Mm-hmm. That could be for anything in your whole house.
Yeah.
A mug, a shirt, something in the garage. Because you went through all the seasons, all the cycle. And you didn't use it.
Yeah.
So having that kind of year cut off has helped me a lot. Sometimes you think you're going to use something or you want to use something.
Yeah.
But you're just probably not going to.
Yeah.
Another tip is to commit to not spending money until you've done the first pass on everything. So you might think, I'm going to do spring cleaning. I'm going to clean out my garage. I'm going to get a new organizational system to store garage stuff.
Yeah.
That can be thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm going to clean out the shed and I'm going to buy new bins or something so they're all matching or whatever you put in your shed. Mm-hmm. We have like some camping stuff in the shed and bikes. And maybe you're like, I'm going to clean out my pantry, so I'm going to paint the whole thing, put on new shelf liner or get new bins for everything and labels. Well, you spent your time, energy, and money to organize something, which is awesome. But I think doing that one full pass of the whole house, even if it takes quite a while, a year, can be important to really kind of, exercise the muscle of getting rid of stuff before you bring new stuff into the house.
Yeah.
Shopping is exhausting a little bit. You drive maybe an hour to a Container Store, and then you have the money, and which was your time as well. And then you come home, and I'm always too tired if I have to run errands to really tear into a project. It's like two separate worlds for me. I can put my hair in a ponytail and yoga pants and t-shirt and tear into the house, or I can get dressed up and go run errands, but I'm not like switching that out. Like they're not interchangeable back and forth for me. Maybe other people are like, what? I love shopping. Awesome. For me, I can't like switch back and forth. On a cleaning day, I'm just like getting ready and I'm not going anywhere that day. Not even looking in the mirror. Yeah. I'm tearing through it. Spiderwebs in my hair, whatever. It's happening, Yep. When you got back to Minnesota, not too long ago, with it being spring here and with having like a storage unit here and knowing that you're going to be staying in one spot for months, does that kind of trigger some spring cleaning?
It did. Yes. We do usually kind of have like a big push right before we leave for the winter because, I know that things are going to pile up. As much as we try not to bring new things into the home, that's just how it goes. There's always stuff coming in. And so we always do like a sort through some of the things and stash things in storage that we think we won't need till we get back. And then when we get back, it's the same things that have not been working. It's hard. I think particularly with the kids' room, they're not quite as willing to get rid of their stuff. They're pretty good about it, but sometimes they just want to rotate their things and not, always donate some of their stuff. So for them particularly, and this past year we got our first pet. So the spot for the terrarium for that lizard is taking up some room. So we had to shift a bunch of stuff, and we had a bunch of stuff that I was very happy to be putting into storage. And my eldest is a voracious reader, and she has done some reading online with Libby and stuff, but I really like to drive her back towards reading a physical book more. And that's one of the things that we definitely rotate in our storage is the books that we have. So she read through every book we had.
Yeah.
And she was itching for more. So I was really happy to get those books out of there and ready to bring in some fresh books.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what triggered a clean for us, was arriving here. So we did, and we went through all the clothes, and now we know it's gonna, even though we were somewhere warm over the winter, it wasn't like hot, so now we are gonna actually get ready for the hot summer and needing those summer clothes.
Yeah. So if you're just getting into spring cleaning and you don't know where to start, my advice is to start with what other people just call cleaning.
Yeah.
Just clean off the surfaces of your kitchen counter. Clean off the island. Clean off anything that is seen, right? If you can't see it just by walking in your kitchen, don't start there. Get that momentum by just doing a basic clean. Just a basic clean through your whole house. Then if you still have energy or time, tackle the harder stuff. Wash the windows. Clean out one cabinet at a time. What I don't like is when, let's say we're going to clean out the kitchen, and we take everything out of every cabinet. And I have literally done this. But one reason I've done it is at our old house, the cabinets were really bad. And I had to repaint them a couple times over 10 years. I mean, we bought the house. They were really bad. They had to be kind of glued back together and then painted. So you just work with what you have, right? So I would take out every single thing out of the cabinets. Wow. Put it somewhere else in the house. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. And then, of course, wipe everything down. Change the cabinet liners. It had like 1970s liners that were like really glued on. I could never get them off. So I really had to have something there. And then I take the doors off, paint them. It was a whole haul. Wow. What we don't want is take everything out of your cabinets just to clean it, of your pantry and everything. And then now you're sitting there and you're out of energy, out of time. Yep. And,
and all your stuff is on the counter.
Oh, yeah. Why did I even do this? This is terrible. Yep. So it's really just clean off the clutter, wipe the basic stuff down. Yeah. Now it looks good, right? Now clean your oven. Yeah. Now move your refrigerator and clean behind there, which people don't realize to do, but it really does help lengthen the life of the refrigerator if you get that dust out of the back of it. One cabinet at a time. Take all your pots and pans out, wipe it down, put back only what you want to keep, get rid of the rest. Yep. And just repeat that. That way, if you need to stop, like your kids got home from school, or now you're going to go do a family activity in the spring. Yep. You don't have a trashed up, half done thing that you have to come back to when you do not have energy for it. Yeah. So just little tiny pieces. If you get to just the basic clean and you're out of time and energy, high five, you did spring cleaning. Move on. You know? Yep. This is just life sometimes. Yeah. So chunking it off, I think, can be helpful to get that momentum. Yes. If you have a list, that's great. But don't make the list feel like it owns you. Yeah. At the end of the day, if it gets to be summer and now you're moving on, and, my summer days, I work and then I take my kids swimming, or I take them to a park, or we do something. Mm-hmm. I don't like to spend a lot of time in the house cleaning. Maybe on a rainy day. Yeah. But so if I get to the end of my spring cleaning opportunity, I might just throw my list away. Just be done with it. Mm-hmm. I do what I can. Mm-hmm. If you are someone who is very on top of cleaning all the time, and the things that you just mentioned are just normal, you keep up with it on a regular basis, then maybe spring cleaning to you is more of that deeper dive with cleaning. So some of the things you might just want to think about maybe are like ceiling fans, wiping down the walls. I think about the kitchen, they get greasy. Hallways, stairs. Yeah, people touch, right. Yeah. Railings. Dusting baseboards, dusting blinds or wiping down your blinds. Cleaning the carpet, if you have carpet, actually shampooing the carpet. I know I used to do that 3 times a year when we had carpet. Cleaning out the inside of your microwave, the inside of your oven, actually, running the clean cycle on it. Maybe cleaning out your washing machine. Running a clean cycle on your washing machine. The dryer vent. Yeah. I know that having a dryer vent full of lint can actually make your dryer not function as well. Yeah. So if the top, I heard this from a friend, if the top of your dryer gets hot physically to touch when you're running a load, it's probably clogged. So the dryers, they just get hot or they're not hot, right? So if it's broken, it's not going to get hot. Or if it's a gas dryer and the heating element is broken, needs to be replaced, then it's not going to get hot. It's just going to spin, blow cold air. But if your clothes aren't getting very dry, but the top of the dryer feels really hot, then have somebody or learn yourself on YouTube, or maybe you already know skills like this, and clean out the venting, and then run a load again, and it should not be hot on the top of the dryer.
Interesting.
Yeah. And we use dryers a lot. Like, they do get a lot of use, and they're not as complex as washing machines, I've heard, in that they're either heating up your clothes or they're not.
Yeah.
Kind of like the difference, this is what my friend said, the difference between a blow dryer and an oven. If it's not venting properly, and because it's clogged, it's more like an oven. And just kind of like hot without like getting that circulation of a blow dryer. And of course, cleaning windows, sliding glass doors. Some of it is hard because you'll clean a sliding glass door. Oh, this is disgusting. You get it so great. And then 2 minutes later. So, you know, how do you not get frustrated when you have it all done and then it's going to get undone, right? Whether through time, dust settling, crumb spilling, or physically, you know. How do you keep from not caring so much about that?
I feel like maybe if you have this mindset of, you know, it's just like taking showers. Sometimes I'll ask the kids to take a shower. They're like, well, I'm going to go play outside. Yeah, but you still have to take a shower at some point. We can't just not ever clean ourselves because we know we're going to get dirty again, you know? So maybe view the spring cleaning as doing that deep clean, and that it'll make it easier for you to do the maintenance on it going forward. Right?
And developing routine for maintenance.
Yeah.
Versus only waiting till it's an overhaul and then you expect it to stay perfect.
Yeah. Right.
We do have a cleaning list on our website to
Yeah.
download, and that can be helpful to get into routines. It doesn't talk necessarily about the deep cleaning, but it is a pretty solid routine of keeping things up. And another thing is to make it fun.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you do if you've never learned to clean your home? Right? You don't know how to clean.
Yeah.
Clean with me videos can be helpful. Lists can be helpful.
Yep.
It does take physical work to clean a house. I would say a good solid like half a day of cleaning is like exercising for me. Like, wow, my arms are sore. Maybe I should go to the gym more. Maybe I shouldn't admit this, but I have 2 sets of stairs, up and down, putting stuff away, up and down ladders, wiping things, reaching.
Yeah.
Deep cleaning is much more physical to me than regular cleaning.
Yes.
Regular cleaning I can just do. It's like dishes, sweeping, but you know, deep cleaning is like really getting up and down and under things, and so it's more. But one thing I think of is my motivation is to like bless my home. That sounds weird, but like I want my home to be a blessing to me. I want to walk into my home and be like, oh, this is great. So that's part of it. I think of I'm doing that. I'm making my home a good thing for us, and that feels good instead of like, oh, I'm cleaning up after all these whatever. I get the family involved. They have their own, you know, areas and stuff, but just that extra above and beyond feeling, I'm doing that as like a gift to me too and them, right?
Yep.
So some motivation could be when you're done having a party, have people over, have a play date, have a dinner. You could even have the party and you just have it outside because you don't want anybody to mess up. I'm kidding. But you know, it's like a reward. Put on music, set a timer. If you don't have a lot of time to do this stuff, maybe set a timer for a half an hour or an hour every day. And when it's done, it's done. Get inspiration of what you want it to look like. How do you want to feel when you open your silverware drawer? Or when a friend opens your silverware drawer, how do you want to feel? Like, do you want to be like, oh, I'm glad I did that? Or maybe just myself. When I open my spice drawer, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, who spilled black pepper all over it, you know? But sometimes I'm like, oh, this is nice.
I know.
I'm enjoying this cooking. I have this, everything's laid out and filled up. Another thing is to clean top to bottom. Not everybody does this. My husband definitely, I think he cleans bottom top for some reason. That's how his mom taught him. But he'll like sweep first. I'm like, oh, you got to do the counters because, you know, that's okay. It's been an argument for almost 20 years. So put it in the podcast. But definitely if I'm cleaning the kitchen, spring cleaning, I sometimes start with getting a chair, climbing up on the counter and doing the top of the cabinets. That accumulates dust. I'm glad they're making newer houses with no top of the cabinets. They go up to the ceiling. We don't need this.
I know.
And then just working my way down to get that dust that is going to fall going down, down, down. And then, you know, sweeping that up. Sometimes I will wear an apron with pockets if I'm really giving it a good go because I can throw some things in the pockets that I want to put somewhere else. And then maybe I'm not going to get quite so filthy. If I'm doing a lot of climbing around, I'm not going to use an apron because, I'm going to kneel on it. It's going to pull.
Yeah.
That's more of like a yoga pant tank top situation.
Yeah,
like a ninja.
Ninja.
Yep. Some people wear shoes in their house. And so that's like their uniform of getting it done. Like their house shoes. I don't like to wear shoes, for in the house necessarily. So let's see. Before and after photos can help, especially if you have a friend that's rooting for you that you can say like, look what I did, if it's a big difference. It's also sometimes hard to do stuff for ourselves. Like if I have a place where I'm living, back when I had a place where I was living by myself, sometimes it's hard to do it for yourself. And so having somebody come over, while you're cleaning, you think I'm doing it for this event. That friend might not care. They're like fine with whatever. They just want to hang out. But even if it's like a pretending thing that you're doing, it can help to do stuff for you. And also thinking about along the pretending lines, how would you feel if you booked your house as an Airbnb?
Oof.
Would you be like, ew, this place is disgusting. Bad review, 1 star.
Right.
Or would you be like, oh, because, you deserve to have a house that's up to your standards that you give to other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so stepping back and looking at, like, I might go to a hotel and Airbnb and set them at a much higher standard than I'm even setting myself. Just as another way to pretend to have a goal, like to motivate yourself. All these things, if you're lacking motivation for spring cleaning, you could use some of these things, whether you need to put the pressure on yourself or not. I think that sometimes pretending can help me get into the zone. To accomplish something. Or what would you keep and what would you get rid of if you were selling your house and moving?
Yeah.
Like what would you actually pack with you? Because if you have a lot of clutter, it's going to be harder to clean. It just is.
Yep.
And taking a photo of your living room or your kitchen has really helped me to see perspective of stuff that I don't want in there. Like stepping back, take a photo and look at the photo.
Interesting.
And you're like, oh, that's, oh, that looks good. That's how I want it. Or that's really cluttered. You really don't see it. I don't. With my eyes the same way as I see it with a photo.
Interesting.
And thinking about what you want your house to look like when you look at your kitchen. How does it feel? And thinking about, do you deserve a clean house? Do you want a clean house for yourself? And do you deserve it? Cleaning is practically free. Getting rid of stuff is free. Yeah. You're just investing your time. This is not an expensive activity.
Right.
So you've heard about the mom's close the kitchen candle, where the mom cleans the kitchen, it's all done, nobody's going to go in there, and then you light a candle, right? Like it's the warning of don't mess this up. Having those kind of routines can also be fun, whether you agree with that or not. But I've had that where I'm like, oh, the kitchen's clean and just some ambiance, oh no, it's really beautiful. So if I'm digging into reorganizing the bathroom, one activity I like to do is talk to a friend or listen to a podcast. I'm in an enclosed space. It's not going to take too long, but it can get boring, and then I find myself not wanting to do it anymore. If I'm cleaning the living room, just vacuuming and dusting does not take that long, but let's say I am going through every single shelf, every single part of the living room, then I might want to watch a movie or a show by myself and just have that distraction with me. Another little trick that I've done when I want to have a catch-up day is right when I first start, I load the dishwasher and I start the laundry, and it makes me feel like I have 2 assistants.
I love that.
Because at one point in life, the laundry was you and the dishes were you too. Like now we have these machines, and so I'm like, okay, all 3 of us are going today, We're hitting it hard. And of course, getting the family involved. Sometimes it is more work to get the kids involved, but cleaning is a skill. It's a learned skill, and learning how to do it with a good attitude and having motivation and knowing why you're doing it is important to wanting to do it and to wanting to keep it up. So it is easier sometimes to send everybody away and do it myself. And sometimes that's what I prefer. Like switch it up a little bit. I'm going to put on music. I want to be alone in the house. Other times it actually goes much faster when we're all working together.
Yep. At
the ages of my kids, it's easier.
Yeah.
When they were really little, that was impossible.
Right.
It was much better to see if Matt could take them to the park and I could just do it, put on music and do it myself. Or I would be doing it with them and I would put all this in a little bin and then they would dump it out and I would just keep going. And there are seasons where it's just not how you want it to be, but it will pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to tackle spring cleaning, really it's about figuring out what you have energy for, what you have time for, and not setting it such high limits of what other people expect spring cleaning to be.
Yeah.
Some years it's going to be cleaning out your gutters and washing the windows, and some years it's going to be sweeping and mopping really well.
Yep.
And dusting some stuff. And cleaning out kids' clothes that are too small for them.
Yep.
Like that I would say is a consistent thing I have done every spring this whole time, because you kind of have to, because they're looking for clothes and they're putting on, 2 t-shirts and they're 7 years old because you never, got to it. Yep. So, but if you do have time to give it a huge overhaul, then that's great too. It doesn't matter. It's whatever is going to make you have a fun summer.
Yeah.
And make you feel like you're not stuck inside cleaning.
This is a great time to mention our upcoming Summer Declutter event in July 2024. We will be holding a 4-week Facebook event that has been designed to help you reach your minimalist goals. We will provide you with all the tools and the structure that you need to be successful in this event. You'll receive a 70-plus page workbook and be a part of a private Facebook group for connection and accountability. In addition, you will have access to 2 months free in our membership community for continued support in maintenance mode. Don't miss this event. We are going to have so much fun providing you with guidance through daily tasks, tips, prizes, and coaching. Registration is now open at our website, and we would love to have you join us. And that's a wrap for today's episode about spring cleaning. We hope you enjoyed delving into this topic with us and found a few tips that might help you on your journey. We want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our amazing listeners for tuning in. Your support and curiosity are what keeps us going. For more tools and resources to help you on your journey toward a simpler life, visit our website, www.123minimize.com. If you found today's episode valuable, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an opportunity to explore new ideas and perspectives. And if you're inclined, leave us a review, which helps to spread the word to others who might enjoy the journey too. As always, feel free to connect with us on Facebook or Instagram to share your thoughts, suggestions, or just to say hi. Until next time, stay motivated. Take care.